You were working a regular W-2 job.
Yeah. I knew that I was made for this.
Are you gonna still be an agent?
That's not gonna be me.
Have you ever thought about OnlyFans?
$100K a month? Then that's...
Hell yeah.
Don't put
I
that.
get it a lot. Girls be hitting me up. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another fire episode of the Winners Club podcast, where even when we don't win, we learn. And today we're gonna be learning from a real special guest. This is somebody that I've been looking up to, even though I've been in the business probably longer than her, but she continues to grow it, strive, break boundaries, make a ton of money, and have so much fun doing it. So I got none other than our special guest, Guillean.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Of course. Well, as you know, my name is Brian Tran, your host. I got my co-host over there, PJ Padua.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
So, Guillean, give them for the audience out there, like a short breakdown, who you are, what you do, and, anything else you want to talk about.
So my name is Guillean. I grew up in San Francisco. I do real estate.
Not Vallejo?
No, not Vallejo.
Okay.
I commuted from Vallejo and I started real estate every fucking day.
Yeah.
But I live in the peninsula now. So I run a team. I'm a part of Side, of Kinetic.
You're a co-founder of Kinetic. Yep.
Yeah. And so I have my own team too, but yeah, I just do real estate, try to wheel in deals. I'm working on my first flip, but I do like investing out of state. So I learned that last year and I'm just open to learning.
So, you got the brokerage that you co-founded. You guys did $300-something million last year in sales. Mm-hmm. Very impressive. 60-something agents on the team, right? That's managing that ain't easy. Mm-hmm. Then you have your out-of-state. How many out-of-state properties do you have? 2. Nice. What states?
Alabama and Utah.
Doing pretty good?
Yeah. I mean, they're paying.
Yeah. So then you got your team here. And how much was your production last year?
Last year I did about 47 deals, transactions, close to 50 million volume.
Damn. Okay. Wow. $1,000-something in gross commission earned. All right.
Not really,
I see you.
But okay.
Gilly with a milli.
I was waiting for it.
And then you have a daughter.
I have a daughter
that you bring around everywhere.
Everywhere.
And she goes with you. She dances, close deals.
Yeah. She knows what an escrow is.
Yeah, she knows how to make money too. She be hustling.
Wow, that's awesome. We gotta do some questions about parenting your kids and
I want to talk all about it.
Yeah.
So you kind of got it all. So that's take us back to the beginning, because you weren't always, number one, you didn't come from a family that was entrepreneur. Mm-mm. You didn't come from money. Mm-mm. And actually you were working a regular W-2 job. Can you show us that transition? What were you doing before this big person that I see in front of me today?
Small person, 5'2".
Okay. Big persona, big wallets. I got you.
Yeah. But before we start, I just want to say, Gilly, excited to have you here. You seem very humble. You have a lot of big wins, but hey, don't be afraid to share them, because we're here to inspire people.
I'm here. I'm a break all her humble statements down.
Let's flex a bit. All right.
All right. So I grew up in San Francisco. I moved to SAC for school. Had to get away, otherwise I'd be probably in trouble here. I was working actually at the mall. That's where I learned I was good at sales.
Which mall?
Art and Fair Mall in Sacramento.
Okay. Were you selling wigs?
No, I was selling straighteners.
Oh, wow. I wasn't too far off. Okay.
So,
is that like Con Air?
No, it was, they used to bulk. So I was more interested in the business, actually. So I was a salesperson there. I knew they were buying it in bulk in LA for maybe $10, $15 a piece. And we were selling them for $250. Sometimes $89.99. So so I learned I was good at sales then. I got recruited to the bank. I thought that would be more helpful for professional skills.
Yeah.
I was still working or going to school full time. And then I graduated, I had my baby, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
You're going so fast here. So wait, what school did you go to?
I went to Sac State. I graduated with communications major.
Okay, cool.
What were you like, in high school growing up? Were you just a studious person?
Why'd you have to leave?
You a good kid?
Why'd you have to leave high school?
Troublemaker? Give us a backstory.
I was always a good grade school kid, but I was always in trouble, with boys, with girls, and stuff like that. So
boys and girls?
Both.
Didn't know that. So you left for Sac, but you made sure to went to Sac State. You were working, and then you graduated, so you did everything right. I mean, like that sounds pretty good. And then at that time, what was the plan?
I didn't have a plan. I just knew I needed to get away. And working at the bank before having my daughter, it's like you're making $14 an hour at the bank. You're taking all the risks, taking all the money. So we used to count all the money because we were a smaller branch. We weren't like Wells Fargo or anything. But yeah, I knew I had to make some shake and make more money. So
you graduated, and then you had your daughter. Mm-hmm. Was that intentional?
No, not at all. No.
It was just getting in trouble with the boys again.
Yeah. No. I wasn't in trouble that time.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. And then walk us through that, because you're probably 23, 24 when you had your daughter.
Yeah.
Which is not young, but not old. You know, I had my son at 26, and I was still kind of like, oh shit, you know.
I felt young.
So what went through your mind? Like,
I had to make more money because I couldn't. The job I was working, we probably weren't be able to even afford daycare at the time.
$14 an hour is not going to pay for daycare. Nope. Not going to pay for formula either.
No. So I remember talking to my friend now, who's our TC now.
Yeah.
She was a transaction coordinator, and I told her I was like always interested in real estate. And I remember this lady always coming in, cashing her checks, big checks, you know, $30,000, $150,000. Damn. And it just said like real estate at the time. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do this now. If I don't do this, I was pregnant, working all up until I got pregnant, gave birth. And then I was like, okay, I gotta take this test. It's now or never. So I passed my test, and my daughter was actually like a month old or 2 months old.
Yeah.
Never looked back since.
So then did you start selling in Sacramento? Or
I was a Redfin showing agent. Okay. So, I mean, at that time, I was making, like, you know, better money. For Sacramento, maybe, like, 50 to 75.
An hour?
No, a year.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, at the time,
for
Sacramento.
Sorry, my bad, guys. I mean, 50, 70, I was like, an hour? Okay, that's like 100,000 a year, but okay, 50.
No, well, like, you with Redfin as a showing agent, you could really make as much as you want. You can put your schedule up to, like, whatever really you want. So I would do maybe a couple showings a day, just opening the door, didn't, do any other negotiations. And then, we had to move back out here because there were more opportunities out here. And that's where I started doing full-time real estate.
And then how long did it take you to get your first deal?
So Kevin, my business partner, he had a client. He said, hey, I've been working with this client for a while, but we haven't, won any offers. So probably like a month.
Oh, that's like fast.
1-2 months. Yeah.
And then did you know, like, at that point it was like, okay, this is the path that I'm going to go?
How much did you get on your first deal?
I can't remember, like maybe 3,000 or 6,000.
Were you pumped?
Fuck yeah.
Hey, sometimes it's not, I was talking to PJ about this. It's not the dollar amount, but it's that it was like a win that solidified your faith that you're on the right path.
It was easy for me.
Was it?
It felt easy for me.
Does it still feel easy for you now? Like,
yes.
Doing what
like
you're
the
doing?
Sales is easy. Conversions are like the people are easy. I can do the hard conversations.
So what's hard about this business, you think?
Just like the managing, like the attention and stuff like that is annoying sometimes.
Okay, so now because I think this is right around the time I met you. I think with Kevin, and I was like, okay. I remember he said, like, this is my friend Guillean. She's from Vallejo.
I'm not from Vallejo.
yeah, but, hey, that's why it's stuck. He goes, this, Kevin's like, this is my friend from Vallejo. I said, oh, okay, cool. And he goes, yeah, she's a hustler. She's hungry. Like, she commutes every day from Vallejo to Daly City to work, basically.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, like, with real estate, you don't show up and get paid an hourly rate. You go, you work your butt off, and you can hopefully close a deal. Sometimes you don't close a deal, right, but you still stuck with it. That's like an hour and a half drive every day with traffic.
Yeah.
And an hour and a half back. So walk me through. Did you ever consider quitting?
Honestly, no, because like at that time I'm still pretty hungry, but at that time I was hungrier for sure.
Yeah.
But I was also, listening to podcasts. I remember the first podcast I would listen to was like E.T., the hip hop preacher. Yeah. So then just like, getting your mind right, mindset. I think it's always like just mindset stuff. And then like at that time, like how I always been, like nobody can tell me shit. So I knew that like I was made for this. Even if I don't want to do like real estate all my life, but
you're made. You can do it.
Yeah.
And then your daughter, because that's hard. I mean, I can imagine the woman in the role is a lot harder than the dad, right? Like, cause I'm a dad, and I'm like, if I see my kids next week, it's all good, you know, cause they don't need me, but they need their mom. So what's going through your mind? Like, how are you balancing all this? Because you're wasting 3 hours a day just on the commute. Then you're at the office, and then there's probably a late night showing.
Yeah.
Like,
my family's pretty good at supporting me, so I would give it to them for sure. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be as like free and open and like be able to move the way I move. So family's definitely a support. Her dad's great.
I mean, you guys are great. I see your daughter, and she's like, her persona, her charisma, her confidence, that comes from good parenting. At least I think so. Because some people, I really believe that it's nature.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, no, wait, I messed up. Is it nurture? Nurture, not nature.
Both.
Both, right? So, like, she kind of mimics you. Like, she kind of like out hustling. I see her. She be singing, dancing. And then she goes to private school too, right?
Yeah.
See, you guys crushing it. Look at this. I'm proud of you. Yeah, you probably don't even care.
Kudos to you guys.
I'm like, kudos to you from having a young kid and then seeing her do so well. And then probably a segment of her life, you were probably gone a lot. And she's still cool. See, you don't always need to be around your kids 24/7.
Definitely. I feel like
she's easy to be around. That's why.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I feel like all of that is definitely, having a child around that age and financially not being the place you want to be is definitely a challenging area. I want to ask Gilly, especially for real estate agents, like newcomers, it is challenging. Brian tells me all the time, some people don't get a deal for like 6-7 months. Was it, I know you do say it's easy, but why do you think it was really easy for you? And if there were any challenges, what were some of the challenges that you were going through?
I think it's just, so the people you're around too helps a lot. As a solo agent, if I wasn't in the environment that I was in, it probably would have been a lot harder. So you got to get around people. You can't do everything yourself. You got to learn from other people. Just like yourself, you got to get in different rooms. So I had to change my environment for sure. Because I was like, we were like in Solace in Sacramento. So we didn't know anyone. I was trying to move away from everyone and stuff like that. But when I got out here, I had to like get uncomfortable by just being around more people. I'm like introvert, extrovert. Like if I have to be at an event, like I'll do it. But I usually like would rather be in my car by myself, like driving.
Feel that.
But get around different rooms, like, shake hands.
The more hands you shake, the more money you make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
I like that. So
and
it sounds.
That's a big lesson for everybody listening too. Like, stop being like Skilly is. Yeah, you're naturally very quiet. But I hate when people use that as an excuse. Like, I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Our good friend Kenny is an introvert. That motherfucker makes hella money. Because, you got to just go and do it.
Yeah.
And people always think, like, because I was born this way, you can't change.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, you can
That's
definitely
true.
change.
I mean, I used to hate meeting people, too, and, like, hate shaking hands. But, like, I want to make money. I want to create opportunities, so I'm going to do it.
That's my biggest pet peeve. When people tell me, like, it's a limiting belief.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
And then now I just walk away.
Yeah.
If somebody says, I over the years now I know why, like, you get older, you just don't have time to be around. Like, I'm not here to convince you.
That's like someone saying, like, I'm big boned.
Yeah.
I'm big boned for life. But back to what you were saying, Gilly. So it sounds like it was more of just you getting out of your comfort zone, like socially. That was the biggest
She got
challenge.
around winners, though.
Yeah. And
Kevin's a winner.
Yeah, definitely. Kevin is killing
Kinetic
it.
are winners. There are like a lot of winners there. So she got around that. I know you just came back from the Play Bigger event. Those are winners.
Yeah.
So you got to be around winners. No offense. Actually, you know what? Screw this. You hang around losers, you're going to be a loser.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So get around some winners. You want to make more money? Get around people who make more money.
True.
You want to get more fit? Get around people who are more fit than you. Naturally, you're just going to rise to the group, basically.
Yeah. I like
Are
it.
you going to have another kid?
At this time, I'm cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just wondering, because one's cool, but,
Shoot, yeah, I'm like focused on work right now.
So what do you like? What's the next big goal? Because I mean, you already got 2 properties. You already have a team that's doing over $50-something million in sales. You already.
Before we get into this is some juicy questions right here, but I know the viewers for sure want to hear a little bit more about the story because Gilly does have a lot to share. So,
all right, bring it back to the story. You go ahead.
I'm sorry. So we do have, because Guillean, obviously you're starting just as, what do you call, like a Redfin agent, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And now you're an entrepreneur, co-founder of a whole, what do you guys call it? Like,
Kinetic.
is it called a
brokerage?
A brokerage, right? Co-founder of a brokerage. How did that come about, and how was that transition from just being basically working under someone to now working for people? Not for people, sorry.
Alongside with people.
Alongside with people and managing people.
So we have a leadership team. So without them, I don't think, we would have grew as fast. But just starting out with Kevin Tan and Randy.
How did that start?
We were with BHG, and I think there's an opportunity that came about. This new side technology-driven real estate brokerage came about, and, literally I met Kevin at Keller Williams within a month. We moved to BHG, and then shortly after, he's like, hey, I have this opportunity. So again, it's just around the people that you're around is like looking to grow in new opportunities. So yeah, I mean, I give it up to the people that I'm around, honestly, because I'm like pushed because of them, and I'm more of like a delegator, motivator, but people who actually like take the action and things like that. So we put our heads together. It's hard. I mean, it's always new every day. You don't really know what you're going to do on a daily basis, but you make it work. It's like easy to me, but sometimes you got to take a step back and go ghost on social media.
Yeah.
And
get to work.
Yeah.
Were you scared during this transition though? Because I feel like for a lot of other people, it could be a big change in like lifestyle, maybe, or just. Were you were scared?
I wouldn't say scared. I would say just like more reserved. I'm not too much of an analyzer. I usually like take action first and then think back. But I just trust in myself that I'm gonna make the right decision. There's not really too many times in my life where I'm like, fuck, I should never did that.
Yeah.
But because it's just like I know my mind's right. Like I know I have like a good head on my shoulders. I know I don't have a lot of distractions. So
it's all that Eric Thomas, huh?
Yeah, all that.
Hey, you be going. Hey, you got the right. Even if you mess up, you just make the right. Like you just move forward.
Right.
Take the next step. Move in the right direction. Like keep moving.
Yeah.
I think people always get that kind of hung up, and I think people overanalyze because they need to have all the steps laid out. But that ain't how business works.
No.
You make a mistake, pivot.
Yeah.
You make another mistake, pivot, and just eventually you get on the right path.
That's how we are. That's how I think too. But for sure with Kinetic, it's like, what's the solution? Don't tell me the problem without telling me the solution.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, can I ask my crazy questions now?
Yes, I was going to say, I just needed to fill in the gap, you know what I mean? We need to get a President Day, so.
Kinetic was born, I think, like a year before. No, was that the pandemic? 2019? 2020? When did you guys?
It's been 3 years now.
So 2020. Because I remember going to your guys' party, and then like shortly after, pandemic happened. And look, blew up.
Yeah.
So now that everybody's caught up,
well,
I see Kinetic everywhere.
let me go ask some crazy questions.
All right, let's get to the juicy
right.
stuff. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You done threw me off earlier, PJ, but I have a list. Okay, we talked about drive. Actually, you know what? Let's
just run it. Just run it. Let's ask these questions. Put it in the hot
let me
seat.
ask. Obviously, you're a good-looking woman. Do you think that has helped or hurt you in business, in real estate?
Crazy.
And seriously, because I mean,
it helps and it hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps because it's like I'm really talking about something sometimes, but you know what? I think it's also how you present yourself too, because honestly, I don't get hit on a lot.
Yeah.
With real estate, it's like they know I'm here to work.
That's good.
It's like, a couple stupid people, but
yeah, because how do you combat that? Because I get it a lot. Like girls be hitting me up. Like in the beginning of my career, these girls be hitting me up trying to pretend like they're buyers, but they don't buy nothing. They just want to go take me out to coffee and stuff. Like did that ever happen to you?
No.
It's good. But I think it's because you Like you don't entertain it,
No,
right? That's good.
no.
What are some of the because I know there's advantages and disadvantages.
So yeah,
what do you think
is
is the
disadvantage?
Disadvantage? Well, cause I use it more to advantage than disadvantage. There's not really. I don't think there's really that much of a disadvantage. But a woman versus like a man in this industry, because it's male dominated, right? Where I think now women are emerging to become more leaders, if anything, because of social media, like events, things like that, and being more relatable. To people that maybe women that didn't think that they could be in like different positions. But disadvantage would be like, you know, when you're in a room with like bigger people, like people that you want to be heard by, but there's a man there. It's like, you know, you kind of get
like what's it called? People like discount you.
It's actually kind of funny because I think that because you're in residential real estate, it's actually dominated by more women.
Is it really?
Believe it or not, yeah. It's
Well, I think like the
it's dominated by 50 and up white women, right? White, but
why do we need those stats?
It is. I mean, look it up.
Okay,
it's like it's dominated by because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But so I think when women, this industry, I don't think women have that problem. But I think in commercial real estate, that is dominated by men. But it's funny that you bring that up.
I think
so I'm glad you didn't think of it
with residential real estate. I think I can earn the trust of the buyer more and sellers more. But I think in business meetings, when like on the ops side or like behind the scenes, definitely like their attention is more to the man. I feel.
I don't know.
I mean, that's my experience, but also maybe because I'm more like reserved too.
Yeah, I think because guys are scared of you. They're like, you know,
possibly.
So they talk to Kevin.
No.
They talk to Kevin. Random question: have you ever thought about OnlyFans?
No.
I mean, I got some friends.
So if I didn't have a family, if I had no morals, well, don't put that. If I didn't have my morals, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I'll do like a feet OnlyFans. That's it. But I'm not like that.
Just feet? My feet. I told PJ take a picture of my feet, but he don't want to do it.
Yo, it's gonna be too much money. I'm not gonna know what to do with it, man.
No.
But what's
I was just messing around. We had to throw that. We had to throw that in there.
What's your take and opinion on like people who do use OnlyFans?
I mean, get it how you live. Like
that's I don't judge.
have no problem with that. Yeah.
We don't judge here. No judgment zone.
I'm all for it. Like, hey, if you want to make your money, girl, go make your money. Like, do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? It's a funny, going back to the whole looks thing.
Yeah.
It does work because I think somebody said that. I mean, you can be ugly and still make it. But I'm just saying, like social media right now, that if you are easier on the eyes, you get more views. That's just what it is.
I want to ask this question then. So I want to go and ask, Guillean, what's your opinion on, women and ladies thirst trapping on Instagram to, build followings and to just use their, their looks and their assets to their advantage. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, if that's how you want to get it, I have like no problem with that. Would I do it? Not really. So, I mean, I don't judge. Also, I'm going to go this route.
Yeah.
You can go that route.
Definitely. I mean, I want to talk about this because I think it's pretty cool. I'm all for it. Like, if you're gonna share, you want to share the ass pics. You want to, take selfies. You want to do the bikini on the Bahamas.
You gotta kind of be careful.
Like
you gotta be careful with business, though.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. 100%.
You gotta be tasteful with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially like a realtor, because how many realtors do you know? I know a lot of realtors that don't actually do any business, but they have a big following.
Yeah.
Because they show their bikini and all that stuff, and they really.
I think it's like the life you want to live too. Yeah. Like that wouldn't align with me going to play bigger events. Or
I think that would mess you up because then that would cause. Like what I brought up earlier, like all these guys that just hit you up and be like, hey, yeah, I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to sell, but they actually don't sell or buy anything.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty. Well, if you're like pretty established, right, and you're very like well known in the business world, I think it could be a little bit detrimental. But I think if you do it into a point where it's means to
like
grow a following,
like that,
and then convert into like a business persona, because it's being kind of smart with like nowadays age. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to get the followers. And if you have a plan to like make $1 million business, why
I'd
not?
still be kind of scared as a realtor.
Would
Like,
you?
If I was like a woman and I did that, like you're just kind of asking for guys to kind of waste your time a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of open that door.
But the followers don't mean like you're monetizing either. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean-
yeah, you're right. A lot of followers, but what deals are you making?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
Because you hear a lot of people with big followings that are broke.
yeah, that is
So-
true. But it's also on the person because they're not knowledgeable on,
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
True.
So I think it's like the
All right,
how
PJ,
you
show
get
off
it.
your assets, bro. Just do
Dude,
it.
I think I'm.
Is that what you're asking?
I think I might, man.
I think you're going somewhere, PJ.
Yeah, you going somewhere, PJ.
I'm asking for permission right now, so
Yeah.
it's okay, right, guys?
If you ever considered hiring a virtual assistant but don't know where to start, go to thevahub.com, our proud sponsors. Check them out. They'll send you guys some applications. Look at how these Filipino virtual assistants can help you guys out. Now, back to the show. Tell me a little bit more about your out-of-state properties. Like, why out-of-state? How did you get involved in that? And let's go over some of the numbers.
So, actually, we got into out-of-state investing because of Zen Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jenny Locke, you know, her and her
Her boo thing. Yeah, good friends of
booth
ours.
there. Yeah, they are too. So, they're super dope. So, I was actually their first client, Zen Coast ever. Yeah.
Really?
Because I seen Jenny posting
No, they're
like out of
big,
state,
yeah.
blah blah blah. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm gonna get into that. Like, I want to learn from you. And I knew Jenny from Keller Williams. She was always killing it.
Yep.
And then she kept talking about this out of state thing, and I'm like, you know, I'm making money. I'm like, okay, if this sits in my account, I'm gonna blow it.
Yeah.
So I need to do something with it. And so yeah, we bought our first like condo out here in Daly City, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Then I realized I'm like, okay, I don't want to be like working like a dog forever.
Right.
So they started like posting more, and I said, hey, like, what do I gotta do? I kept like, you know, going in her DMs and posting on like her stories and stuff. So she hopped on a call, and then she was like, well, you know, we're thinking about starting Zen Coast or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, just tell me how much. Like, how much do I got to pay you?
Dang, I like that.
So
They didn't even have a price yet.
no, I could tell from the hesitancy in her voice. She's like, all right, I'm going to drop this number. But she probably would have thought, like, I was going to be taken aback by it. But at the time, it's like, you know, you pay for just being in the same room with other people. So at the time, it was fine.
Dang,
But I would
like
say if I didn't do that, then we probably wouldn't have the courage and, like, the, you know, just felt like that, like, push to just do it.
Without going into the actual numbers, I know how much it is because they're good friends of ours, but it's a few thousand, right? That
Cash flow?
initial-
No.
No.
Oh,
To pay for that coaching,
it's a couple thousand.
it was a couple $1,000s.
Yeah,
And you did it with no hesitation.
no hesitation.
Were
Because
you all-
my mind was already made.
Okay.
Maybe if it was like,
Was
if it was
there-
hitting double digits, maybe, but no.
Was it ever a time when you were like how did that? Because people are so afraid to spend money on education.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And how did you train yourself to be like, okay, like, let's go?
Well, because when I started real estate, like I said, I was driving back and forth. I stopped listening to music for quite some time, and then I was just listening to podcasts all day, Bigger Pockets, and then that's really when I started to like learn more about out of state investing. So Bigger Pockets and ET. So ET for the mind, Bigger Pockets for big business. And so then when she came about, I was like, okay, well, I know this person, and I know how she is in real estate. For sales, like, she's probably the closest thing that I'm like, okay, I need to learn from her.
Did you ask for a discount?
No.
Damn, gee. See, sometimes I ask for it just to be that person, but I like that. Number one, you supported her, you paid the bill, and you learned. People are so scared to pay, to learn. Like, what do you think this is? Like, you'll pay for college, but you won't pay to learn from somebody who's actually doing it, actually making money. That's my little rant. So back to it. Okay, so you jump into the course, and then, like, what? How long did you go from that course to buying your first property?
It really probably was like, I forget, maybe like less than 6 months, maybe 3 months. I don't know. So I move quick. Like,
Yeah.
I should be more detailed, but I don't really look into the details too much. As long as like
I think you're successful because of that.
the mortgage covers, then we're good. Even if you're like negative, like a little $100, and just, you know, it's better than sitting in an account.
Let's go through the numbers real quick. So where was the first property? Alabama?
Alabama. Oh, I gotta think about it. Okay.
Was it a single family?
Single family?
And then
Sight unseen.
Love it. How much did you buy it for?
I think it was like 220. It was the time during COVID time, actually, when prices were like jumping. And that's what really pushed us too, because rates were low. Rates were low, and it was just time.
What is it? Is it a 3-bedroom, 1 bath?
It's a 3-2.
Oh, perfect. And then what are you getting for rent?
That one is about, I should know. I just know it's covered.
Okay.
It's just like, hold on.
Okay.
It's like 20% down. Cause
so
I
like
keep, it's like
1,600 a month.
Yeah.
And then your mortgage is like what, 1,000?
No, probably like 1,200. 13. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you're making like $200 a month cash flow?
That's cool.
Did you do a cost segregation?
So that's what I'm learning now.
Oh, okay.
I have a new CPA. Learned that a couple months ago. I actually have to make amends to my last year's CPA because she didn't know about that. So again, it's like people who you know.
Your CPA won't do it though. You actually have to go. I think like different another company.
Well,
and then you give it.
She
to your
just
CPA,
wasn't
right?
like encouraging about it. So
yeah. Gotta do, guys. That's a big tip too, because your silent partner is the IRS. So you got to get a good CPA, and you don't get them when it's time to file your tax returns. You get them to tax plan. So that's a tip for you guys out there. That's pretty sick. And then and then you bought another property. How long after that?
Probably like another couple months when I was able to, like 6 months.
Damn, dude.
Same area?
No, Utah. That one is because people then they started like getting more and more students.
Oh.
And then just being there, like I didn't run the numbers by myself. I'm like, okay, if there's a bunch of people doing it, they already did the numbers.
Yeah.
If I could afford it, let's do it. It was a new build too, so.
How much was that?
That was like more $329.
And then rents are higher?
Rents are higher, so like mortgage about 22. That one's more like flat, but the appreciation on that from when it was built to when I had to close the loan, we were probably like 80K in equity less than a year.
Are you planning on buying more?
Yeah, but then now I just want to do like either commercial builds.
Something bigger. Yeah. Because it's like $200 not going to change your life. Okay. I like that.
The type of work too, like the amount of time you put into it is like, you might as well look for better deals.
Yeah, I agree 100%. but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think if people try to jump into the big deals, but you don't have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn to do the small deals, and then eventually the small deals become so like and that you want to go for the bigger ones.
I think honestly that was it. Like just the confidence to actually do it, like signing papers, sight unseen, and because I'm in real estate, like I know a little more about like inspections and things like that. So it was just okay, if I can do it, let me do it again. Yeah. And first time it's like more of like long-term play, just such a small purchase price that they're always going to rent it out. The other one is I learned more like about appreciation wise. So now it's like go bigger and then try to find both.
Did you ever have to deal with like people not believing in you? I mean, your family supports you, sounds like it, but like, did you ever experience that? Like, because now you're buying stuff out of state. Normally, when I tell people, I'm doing this, they're like, oh my God, are you sure? It's so scary. You're going to lose your money. Did you have to deal with that?
Yeah, like some clients, like, they always have their opinions, like stocks are better, or blah, blah, blah. I just don't listen. Like, I really just don't listen. Like, I'm so, like, laser focused on, like, what I want to do. Yeah. If you're not, like, if you're not encouraging me, if you're not, like, really giving life to me, I just really block you out. So I
like that.
I don't really listen to people.
Do you think it's because you're following people that are successful in it? Yeah. That gives you the confidence to like say, hey, look, I don't need to listen to this people.
Well, I look at your life and then I look at mine. Like if you haven't did it or if you haven't tried it, then who are you to like even have an opinion?
That's a gem.
Yo, that was like, yeah, we got to clip that up because that's like one of the biggest things too. It's like so many people get worried about other people's opinion when it's like, yo, like, why are you telling me like you make less than me? Like, out of shape, like, okay, not like that. Like in a
it's
sense,
kind of like if you haven't done it in that business.
Well, I'm just of course. Like, I'm just saying for like me, I've heard people like give me business advice when I'm like, bro, like you haven't started anything. Like, don't give me like business advice. Like,
and even then, be careful with who you get business advice from sometimes because like if you're not in the, let's say, out of state investing business.
Yeah.
And you can't really speak on it. But then you look at Jenny Locke and Calvin, her husband, and you're like, dude, they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that gives me the confidence to say, I don't need to listen to you.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it, they're successful. I think that's the right time to do it.
Just shift your focus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing like where people have an opinion like, oh, I'm going to go to school and they end up making like $50,000 a year, but you have servers in San Francisco making almost bottle service girls $200. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, Guillean said, be a bottle service girl. Guys.
No, I'm saying servers, like,
No, for
like
sure.
any
Like,
service.
Just get your money.
100%.
Get your money and then
100%.
invest it and then do something with it, because even that, you can't keep working for money. Because you said it yourself. You don't want to keep working like a dog.
Right.
Dude, yeah, just back to that. I think it's just like a conformity thing. Like everybody wants to be like, yo, you shouldn't do that. You should do what I'm doing.
Right.
Because this is normal, and like just to like protect themselves from not growing or not venturing out and not doing something that's challenging.
Yeah. Did you have to cut out a lot of people in your life? Because you kind of, you sound like you had a.
I think.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, but I think I just opened up more to like new people. I mean, so I still have like a lot of the same friends. When I can get with them, I do get with them. I think a lot of people are worried about like, my friends don't really, they're like, oh, you never hang out with me no more, blah, blah. They know I'm busy.
Yeah.
But they know like when we're together, it's a time. But, I respect everyone else's time too. And so I'm not like possessive in that way either. Like, oh, we never talk. Like, we all have now kids. We all have stuff to do, but they know I'm busy.
Yeah.
But how about in the beginning? Like, did you ever have to deal with that? Because I feel like that's a common thing with a lot of people where they're like, you're changing. Like, that's, why are you wasting your time on that? Like, let's hang out. Let's go to the club or like whatever it is. Have you had to deal with that earlier on or?
So when I moved, that's why I moved out to Sacramento. So I was already prepped. Like, everything was already prepped for me to be here now.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have like distractions at that time.
Wow. Blessed life. You had a
Yeah,
very
pretty
blessed
good.
life. Like, it's hard. Like, I think that's one of the hardest
Got
parts.
first. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I remember my time.
I be
Everybody
cutting people out like that.
I cut
People-
people
I don't
off
burn
too.
bridges.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this before. I just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's
I
crazy.
gotta do my thing.
It's like crazy when people like roast you for just like reading a book in front and they're like, it's crazy bad energy. You guys gotta get rid of that stuff.
Time and place. But yeah, I'm pretty good at cutting people off too. Like if I'm not feeling it, then
Leave. But people have such a hard time, and I think that's why they get stuck. Like, go be around bigger people. Go be around new people. And just like I said, if it ain't the right people, pivot. Next group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What other questions, PJ? I want to keep
Yeah,
going.
man. This has just been a great podcast. to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm learning so much about Guillean. I'm like, yo, but you were like kind of, it's crazy because you're like, your brain was already kind of wired for success.
Yeah. I want to say like, and this is just because I feel like this podcast really could help like a lot of women and ladies out there. Like, what is your best advice for like a woman coming into like the entrepreneur space, whether it's like real estate or starting a business or whatever? Like, what's your best advice? I know it might be the same, but if it is different,
I feel like just be resourceful. Like, don't be lazy. I see like a lot of agents now, I talk to them, oh, I want to do, but when you give them like a lead or like you tell them to call and stuff like that, there's no follow-ups. It's just like the hunger isn't there. You either have it or you don't.
You think so? You think you can't teach people hunger?
In,
I don't have
some
an answer.
situations,
I don't have an answer for that. That's why I want to ask it. Like,
in the situation I was in, I was like, there's no going back for me. I mean, I could go back to working at the mall and stuff like that. So I always felt that like cushion, but do I want to? No, like you just have to figure out. I know everyone talks about their why, but we all have the same whys really, but really like digging deeper. It's like, okay, I'm not trying to work for people all my life. I've wanted to just do what I wanted to do. Like if I want to sleep all day, I could do that. If I wanted to work all day, I want to do that. If I want to leave for a week, I just don't like people telling me what to do. So I think that's what I was looking for.
so with your clients, because we technically in the real estate space, we work for our clients. How does that translate over?
Well, you better work your ass off for your clients if you want to convert.
For somebody.
I'm working for them, but for me, it's like I'm not if I'm not working for you in terms of like you're not just gonna talk to me any type of way, or you're not gonna just treat me any type of way. Like
you work on my schedule basically.
In the beginning, you take whatever opportunities you can, and that's what you have to do. I would say another advice would be take all opportunities. Don't say no. I did open houses every single weekend. My first year in like traditional real estate, no days off, Saturday, Sunday, every.
You still don't take a day off, or at least you make it look like you don't. You're pretty on it, like.
I'm like, I try to be. I mean, now that I have a team, like, you know, I feel like a sense of responsibility too. But sometimes, like, you know, I'll work from my phone. I don't do as much open houses, but you just have to know when it's a time to grind and a time like you could chill. Like last quarter, everyone was feeling it because like rates were super high.
Yeah, inventory's down.
Yeah. And first quarter this year, I just knew it was just like grind time. So. You just have to know, like, when grind time is and when you can chill. And right now is, like, grind time. I mean, like, first quarter was really good for me, but I still want to keep grinding.
Why?
I don't know.
Because people ask me, like, when is enough? So I'm going to ask you, when is enough for Guillean?
So business-wise, like I feel like I have clarity in personal life and things like that. It's like, okay, what am I striving for? No, I don't really know. I'm trying to find that.
So what's the clarity for business then? What's the goal this year?
So my goal is to with my team hit 100 transactions. That's just something I want to hit business wise, but just getting into more rooms, doing more social media stuff, like putting myself out there. I took a step back on that because we had to grind, but just 100 transactions hopefully.
What is 100 transaction gonna mean for your life?
It'll definitely like elevate my life, like in terms of dollars, but it's not really, but yes, but more so is just to say I did it.
It's a goal that you want to hit, and you know, because you're actually pretty good. You don't spend a lot.
No,
like. For the most part, you don't in comparison to what you make. What's your next big purchase? Like, is it that commercial building or?
I would like to buy another commercial building. Yep. I mean, because I used to be more of a shopaholic when I had no money. When I used to work at the mall, spend my money check at the mall like right away. Yeah. Because then I didn't have expenses at the time. So
how did you change that mindset?
Because I had a whole bunch of shit and no money.
That'll do it for sure.
People still people in our business in real estate, they make $1, they spend $1.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
yeah.
What's your advice on that? Like, tell the people, like, what do they need to do?
It's okay to spend money on like the things you like, but you have to have like a balance. Like, you know, like they say 50% goes to your expenses or like, you know, things like that. At least invest and then buy something else too. If you're just buying something else and not investing, then I think that's stupid.
Perfect.
Basically, just budget your stuff and just be aware of your spending. And
so when can you, in your, what you believe in, like when can you spend it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because
when I make 100 transactions, wait, no, I don't know.
Set goals, and then when you hit those goals, then you can maybe splurge on something. All right, I like that.
So usually, like when initially, like, okay, if I have this property, it should pay for my daughter's school, or if I have this property, it should pay for my car, or if I have this property, it should pay for like an expense, like, you know, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So like moving in small, I guess, like goals like that. It'll just like monopoly, I feel.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What's next? What like if you were to ask you 5 years from now, what does that Guillean look like? 35-year-old Guillean.
See, that's shit. I'm not good at those questions. I'm really not. It's because I don't goal set enough that far that I can tell you, but I know it's not gonna be the same. Like every year I've grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I usually just sprint and then I see how far I come. I usually don't look back, but I usually be like, okay, well, this is how it was last year. I know it cannot look the same this year, but definitely more properties, maybe working less, taking more trips, traveling more.
Are you going to still be an agent, you think?
In 5 years?
Yeah.
I feel like the money is just so good that if you're good at it, if I want to help my friends and family only, maybe bigger deals, but I'll always help my family and friends.
Yeah.
Like the people I like, you know.
Because I struggle with that because I'm like, you know, I the whole being a realtor thing was cool, but I feel like it's a stepping stone.
I agree.
It's not the end all be all. So that's why I wanted to ask you because I know you're killing it. Like, are you gonna still do it? Because Kevin, he loves it.
Yeah.
So he'll continue to do it. He loves
family
that thrill.
and friends, yes. Yeah. But I seen like when we were at Keller Williams, like BHG especially, like there's like 80-year-old realtors that are still like finding the next deal. Like that's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
Facts. When do you think you're gonna cap it then? If it's not,
I mean, depending on how much passive income I have, like that's what I'm like striving for, passive income. So once I have enough where...
What's enough?
I don't know. Like for me...
Yeah, what's enough?
What's enough? If I can just throw out there, like if I can do $100K a month, then that's...
Hell yeah, I like that. Yeah. $1.2 million a year passive income.
Oh, you're going to do it. You're going to do it, Guillean.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, that was a fire episode. We're going to have to bring her back on for another one where we can dive a little bit deeper. There's some questions that I wanted to ask, but she said, nah, don't go there. So we got to warm up, and we're going to take it there. So I appreciate you coming on the show. I thought that was a real good, there's a lot of gems in there, so thank you. And, you know, if you guys found a lot of value in this podcast and you guys want to come have her back on the show, drop some comments and questions down below, and we're going to get her on for a part 2 and ask her all those questions.
Yeah, and we're revamping the studio, so it's going to be sick.
Love it. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you, Guillean.
Oh,
Thank
actually,
you, everybody.
Where do people find you, and how do they reach out to you? Like, what's your social media handle?
If you're a real buyer or seller, you can reach out to me at Guillean, Guillean on Instagram.
Boom. All right, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Share the show.
You,
See you guys on the next one, okay? Peace.